Good morning, friends. Wonder. What a wonderful day. I wanted to talk about wonder today. A sense of wonder. I feel like I'm living when I don't know what's going to happen next. When I don't know what I'm going to say next, I don't know anything about anything. And the more I think I know about stuff, the more I think I've sussed it, the more I think I've got this whole thing figured out, the more I lose that sense of wonder, the more it just disappears like magic, like a magic trick. I was watching this movie. I watched this movie the other day. It's a Christopher Nolan movie. And it blew me the fuck away. It was called The Prestige. If you have time to watch a movie, then I would suggest watch The Prestige. I loved the metaphor. Let me tell you something. So the premise was about a magic trick. A good magic trick has three parts to it. It has something ordinary. Take something ordinary, and then you do something extraordinary with that something ordinary. But that's not enough. A great magic trick has a third act, which is called The Prestige. It's where you take that extraordinary thing and you bring it back down to earth. You go to the stratosphere and you come back. And this is a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's what all good movies do. It's what all good pieces of art do. A great piece of music takes you from the ground to the stratosphere and then back. And the whole process is an absolute mystery. I don't know how it happens. No one knows how it happens. But it's interesting because when you find out the hard truth about a magic trick, it just spoils the magic, you know? When you start trying to understand the magic trick, it ceases to entertain. And that's quite boring. I don't want to know about the magic trick. And it says something very interesting. We want to understand the magic trick on some level. We're curious as to how it all works, but we're not paying attention. We're not paying attention to how the magic trick actually works, because actually on some level, an even deeper level, we want to be fooled, we want to be entertained. We don't want to know how it works as much as we think consciously, I want to know how this works. We don't. And all these fields of study like science, they don't want to know. The thing that keeps them going is the wonder, is, oh, well, we've worked this out, but then that's created a whole new branch of questioning. And that's often what happens in reality. We figure something out. We say, this is how this works. And then it creates a whole new level. It's like, oh shit, okay, there's more to it. And that is the beautiful thing about reality. You can never figure it out. You can never figure anything out. You can try, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful to try and figure things out. But if you get so caught up in trying to figure things out that you forget that that's not what it's all about, then you lose it. You lose the mystery. You lose the magic. So every time you go to magic shows and you're there just thinking, oh, I know how he does that. I've seen this before. And then you're like, trying to figure everything out. And that makes it fucking boring, There's a reason why there's a reason why we have this narrow field of vision. And there's a reason why drugs have a place, like magic mushrooms. Magic mushrooms open the floodgates. They let you see kind of the bigger picture. But I've discovered on my own, it's not a very productive or necessarily enjoyable state to be in, to be able to see everything at once. I think it's much more enjoyable if we can temporarily narrow our field of vision onto what we're doing right now. I'm going for a walk. I'm talking to you guys. That's my reality right now. And it's magical because I don't know how it works. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what the hell it is I'm doing. I don't know the processes involved. All I know is that I picked up my camera, my phone, in fact, put it on a tripod, got my mic set up, and now I'm going for a walk. A simple walk. The rest is magic. The rest is a mystery. I don't know what it is that I'm going to say next. I don't know. I don't plan these videos. But I did come up with a title for this video, actually, this morning, because I've had an interesting couple of days. Yesterday felt like walking through treacle. It felt like everything was going wrong. I'll give you a little rundown of some of the events of yesterday. So I have been trying to make a little bit of money from this TikTok program called the Creator Program Beta. I don't know if that's what it's actually called, but basically you get paid on TikTok per 1,000 views in this program, and you have an RPM similar to YouTube, which pays you. So my RPM is 20p at the moment. So that means if I get a video with 1 million views, that's a fair amount of money. That is a good income. I can live off of that. And this video, the first compilation, because I put a bunch of my older videos together and posted it, the first compilation got up to 5 million views in 2 days. And I checked the Creator Beta Fund and it said £500. And that was before it even updated. That was just off of the first day. And I was thinking, oh my God, this has fucking solved all my problems. And then the next day I wake up, community guidelines striked for nudity of minors. Hello. Good, thank you.
Haven't got the old, what's it called today?
What's it? Didgeridoo.
Didgeridoo.
Oh yeah, I'm making a video today.
Oh right.
You don't have to be in it, but...
Oh no, thank you.
All right, all right.
That's very kind of you. I don't do photos.
Oh, okay, don't blame you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So my video that I posted got taken down for nudity of minors, which is beyond me, because if you have a look at the video, there's nothing of the sort. I think because my videos are about feet, it's quite on the edge for most people because feet are always covered up. People have a kind of sense that it's like nudity if you're showing your feet. But that's besides the point. What I'm saying is that I didn't know that's what was going to happen. I could not predict that outcome. And I've sent an appeal and it may well be put back up. But it all comes down to this. I heard a story that really stuck with me a little while ago. And that was this. There was a village and a farmer, and there was a farmer's boy. And while tending the farming activities, the boy had an accident. He broke both of his legs and he was a cripple. But then a war broke out, and they called up all the able-bodied boys in the village. But this boy, he wasn't able-bodied, so he couldn't go to war. And everyone was saying, well, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. He doesn't have to go to war. But when he broke his legs, everyone was saying, oh, this is terrible. This is terrible. He's going to be a cripple. But the moral of the story is, we can't say whether something is for the worse or for the greater good. It's not within our comprehension. We don't know whether what we're doing is truly good or not. And we shouldn't ever try to assume that we know what's truly good for us or not good for us. It's not wonderful when you do it that way. It's wonderful when you don't preempt anything. When you wake up in the morning and you kind of see where the day leads you. You don't go, oh, well, I need to do this. Even if it sounds good for you, even if it's something like yoga or meditation or breath work or whatever it is you do, if you're always thinking when you wake up in the morning, I've got to do this, that's not a very wonderful existence. As it happens, I've done yoga this morning, I've meditated this morning, but I didn't force myself. I didn't wake up with the intention of, oh, I need to do this or that. Actually, the kitchen was a mess this morning. So I spent the first half an hour of my day or so tidying the kitchen. And then we had to go do some shopping. So me and my mum went to the shops and did some shopping. But while we were there, we had a coffee. We went upstairs to the cafe that is in Tesco, and we had a coffee and a chat, and it was wonderful. And that's what I mean. If we're so hung up on doing things in a particular way, in doing things in an order that seems rational or like it's going to benefit us, it's not beneficial at all. What inspires me the most is when I'm living that wonderful life, when I don't know what's going to happen next. Because when I do that meditation or that yoga, it feels special because I didn't force myself to do it. I came round to it. Like my mum had to do some of her business stuff. I really wanted to go out. I wanted to go out and do the food shopping. And then my mum says, oh, well, I've got some invoices to send off. She's self-employed. And then I thought, oh, okay, well, I'll just do some yoga then. But it was because I didn't know how the day was going to go. And you never know how the day is going to go. There's always going to be curveballs. There really are. I've never been able to have a routine in the morning. I've never been able to stick to any kind of solid routine. And when I've tried, everything starts feeling robotic and cramped and claustrophobic and like, oh, I can't do this anymore. Whew. But I don't do that anymore. I can't do it because it feels like I'm not living. And I wrote this in my journal this morning, I am the antithesis of a robot. And I don't know what that is. I cannot rationally describe what the antithesis of a robot is. All I know is that a robot is something that can repeat an action many, many times, and it won't get bored because it doesn't have that built into its programming. But neither does a robot have a sense of wonder. And so it's a robot. But I have the capacity for boredom and the capacity for wonder, joy, sadness, anger, frustration. I have all of these things that robots do not have. And maybe robots aren't advanced enough yet. Maybe we'll get to a point where robots have all of these human qualities. But that would be very interesting. Be very interesting, because maybe we could study them. We could study these feelings more and more, and learn how to, I don't know, cultivate them more in our own lives by studying how AI can cultivate a feeling of wonder or whatever. Because there's a lack of wonder. There's a lack of wonder in this day and age, because we're trying to act robotically, and it doesn't really serve us as far as we think it's serving us. You know, when you go to a job and it's earning you a good amount of money, and you feel kind of social validation because everyone's saying, oh wow, you're really killing it in life. It's easy to feel good about that, and you should feel good about that. But at the end of the day, when you don't have that social validation, or in my case, it kind of feels like there's a massive void there. It feels like, fuck, something's wrong. It feels right on paper. I'm doing the right things on paper, but it feels wrong. On some level, on some deep level, it's like, I'm missing something. I must be missing something. And I was missing something. And that was the wonder, the not knowing, the total mystery of what is about to happen, which I cannot conceive of. It really is a complete mystery. Just take a moment to appreciate that. I don't like to structure much. I like to do structured activities. I love juggling. Oh my God, I want to talk about juggling. I think I touched on this, but yeah, I met a guy in the park, and he was doing some juggling, this Russian guy. And I was seeing what he was doing, and I thought, bloody hell, that's amazing. I want to be able to do that. So I learned. I just obsessed over juggling for quite a long time. It took me ages to be able to get the hang of it. I don't think I naturally have good hand-eye coordination. I don't know whether I have been endowed with that natural ability. But I really kept going with it because it's something that I thought, well, if I can do this, then that's magical. I'm a magic man. If I can juggle objects in reality, then I'm a magical being. And so I did 3 balls. I learned a bunch of tricks, and then I started tackling 4 balls, and now I can juggle 4 balls. And I was doing this thing with my woman yesterday, juggling 4 balls. This sounds really wrong, but juggling 4 balls, then throwing one of those balls to Roseanne, and continue juggling 3 balls, and then she threw a ball back to me, and I seamlessly was going from juggling 3 balls to 4 balls, and my brain's like, wow, this is magical. How is that possible? I couldn't explain how that's possible. I couldn't explain what the fuck is going on in my brain while that's all happening, but that's why I like doing it, because I don't know how it works. It's a magic trick to me. I'm performing a magic trick that I don't even know how it works. And that's why I've never found magic as a subject in its traditional sense very interesting, because to be a magician is to understand a trick in its entirety, is to know what's going on behind the scenes. And I loved, I guess, seeing the reaction of people who didn't know what was going on, but it still made me feel kind of empty, because I know how it works. I know how the magic works. And I needed to do something in life that I don't understand, where I don't know how it works. And I guess a lot of what I do now really is that. I meditate, I play the didgeridoo, I do yoga, I juggle, I write, I talk to people, I make these videos. And that for me is all the wonder I could ever have. I don't need anything else. I'm happy like this. I'm really happy. I don't need money. I don't need fame and fortune. I don't need any of that stuff. If it happens, it happens. It's a mystery, you know. I didn't know I was gonna be known as the barefoot guy, and fucking every day that I go out, I get at least a couple people recognize me, and it's like, bloody hell. I was like the biggest loner as a kid, the biggest loner. I wasn't good with people. I had nothing. I literally had none of the skills that I have now. And it's been a wonderful experience. It's been a wonderful experience to go from feeling like nothing to feeling full. To feeling full up, like I couldn't ask for any more. I really, really feel, I feel wonderful. Most of the time. Even if shit's going bad, like yesterday, oh my God. Yesterday, oh my, and the video, my YouTube video, it took like 15 hours to upload, and I wanted to get it out straight away. I wanted it, but that wasn't the reality. And it's a good reminder sometimes to have days like that, because sometimes I get ahead of myself and I'm like, I got this shit nailed it. And then I have a day like that, and it's like, I feel like I'm walking through treacle. But those days are necessary. You need those days. And when you don't have those days, you end up thinking you're on top of the world, when in fact, that's not the point. There is no point. A point is one-dimensional. We live in supposedly three-dimensional world. Although there's probably more to it than that. But I can't conceive of anything really that goes on in this world. It's like people ask me, what's it like to not wear shoes? And it's a silly question really. It's like asking, what is the color red like? Now, we both probably have a similar concept of red. We can both probably bring that color to mind. My recording button is red. There's a lot of red things in the world. Blood is red. But if you've never seen the color red your whole life, and you don't have any kind of, let's take a blind person. There are people who are blind, and they've been blind from day one. They haven't seen anything in their whole life. And they have no concept. They have no idea what red looks like. And if you try to explain it, you get nowhere. It's like, oh, well, red is, it's the color of blood. It's very intense, and it's this and that. And you realize that you can skirt around reality, but you can never truly understand it or pin it down or grasp it. And so why should you try to grasp it? Why should you want to pin it down? If that's the case, that it's not possible, it's simply beyond comprehension, beyond our capacity to pin anything down, why would you want to? Why would you waste your time trying? And that's really what I'm getting at with this video, because the more you try to pin things down, in my case, the more that sense of wonder disappears. But when I just be like a kid who's like, oh my God, what the hell is happening? Like, this is crazy. What? I look around me and I just see like stuff happening and I can't explain it at all. Then I'm like constantly in awe. Like, even if shit goes wrong, I'm like, well, how the hell? Like, that's so random. Like, why have I been able to upload a YouTube video in like half an hour on every day except yesterday? And yesterday a bunch of other things went wrong as well. And it's like, why why did that happen yesterday? Why today's felt really smooth and like really like no resistance at all. I've just been like, wow, today's just been like a nice gentle breeze, but some days are not like that. And I really, really don't know why. And I don't think I need to know that. Because whenever I try to think kind of, or try to figure it out, or start thinking, I know why this is happening, then again, I lose the wonder. I lose a sense of mystery. And it doesn't matter how smart you are. It doesn't matter how much research you've done or how many books you've read. Everything comes back to non-understanding and not knowing anything. I read books and it's like a lot of the non-fiction books I read are like coming from a place of like someone's got all this figured out. Like, I've got this figured out. You should listen to me. You should do as I do. And I try to like follow other people's guide on what it means to live a good life. And it doesn't work for me. What works for me is what works for me. And what's going to work for you is a completely different thing. And it's all relative to your reality, you know. Not everyone has a Tesco around the corner. Not everyone lives with their mum and their girlfriend. It's like, I have a unique situation, as does everyone else. And in that unique situation, there are wonderful things happening all the time. There's wonder. I looked at my shadow the other night in the kitchen and it looked like Popeye, as in the character with like big arms. Like, I was fucking laughing. Like, me and my mum and my girlfriend were just laughing because it was so fucking funny. And we have conversations that are really inspiring, and I love having coffees with my mum because she just we're quite similar. We like to think outside the box. We like to, you know, challenge ourselves, go against the grain and try this and that and see what works. And so I really bounce off of that energy. It's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. So, I don't like to give any advice. I hate advice. I've got a friend, Lawrence, who really, he loves like words and like breaking down the meanings of words, and he told me this. Look at the word advice. What is it saying? Advice. What's a vice? Something that grips you. You're adding something into your reality that is gripping you. Why is that good? Why do people feel the need to give advice? Probably because they don't feel that sense of wonder. Probably because they're quite lost and they're trying to justify their way of life. Or maybe their sense of wonder comes from giving advice and seeing what the person's reaction is. I don't know. It's all a mystery. But advice is a very dodgy thing, because it's easy to listen to someone who seems to be doing it right and say, well, I need to follow in this person's footsteps. But I'm here to give you the final piece of advice, which is that you don't. You don't need to take advice from anyone. You can listen to people and maybe you might get something. Something might slot into place. Someone might say something and you might think, that clicks, that resonates. But if someone's telling you to do something and you have all these feelings of like, oh my God, that sounds so boring and I don't want to do that, maybe you should listen to that. maybe you should follow your gut, your intuition, whatever you want to call it. That's what I've done most of my life. When I was at school, I didn't do homework. I didn't do anything. I didn't do any work at all. I messed around in class. I laughed at everything. I did my own thing. I always had my own interests. And everyone was giving me this advice of, if you don't do the work now, if you don't focus and stop procrastinating, you're going to come really unstuck when it comes to the real world. That was the advice people gave me. And I never listened to it. And here I am. Here I bloody well am. Loving life. Not much more to say. I know a lot of people who followed that advice, and they're really coming unstuck. Because there's no meaning in following what someone else thinks is right. There's no purpose in that. If you want to find real purpose, you've got to see what you are. You know, how do you know what you have to offer the world if you don't know who you are? You know, if you're always clinging to advice, then you'll never have the chance to find out who you actually are and what you really have to offer. And we all have something very special to offer. We all have something unique and very, very special to offer the world. And it's not obvious. And it shouldn't be either. If it was obvious, it wouldn't be much fun to discover that. It wouldn't be, there would be no mystery. If we were all born knowing exactly what we're capable of, being able to put into words, well, I am this and this and this, I am whatever, life would be fucking boring. But it's not like that. We don't know anything about ourselves. We don't know what's going on in there. All we know is what comes out. All we know is what we can observe. I've observed many things about myself. I've observed that I love the process of talking, of conversation. I love the process of juggling balls. I don't know why. I don't know how it works. I don't know how I'm able to do this. I don't know how I'm able to keep 4 balls up in the air. I don't know. But if I did know, I probably would not do it. I'd probably move on to something else because it wouldn't be very wonderful. It would be mundane. And I've had a few jobs. I worked in Sainsbury's, worked in a I worked in a phone contract. There we go. Phone contract selling thing. And I hated it. I hated all of it thoroughly because I'll give you the supermarket example. I loved the interaction with the customers, and so I'd really slow down and I'd scan at the rate that someone could pack, and I would talk to them. And the manager took me outside, had a little chat with me, and said, "Do you realize you are the slowest scanner we've ever had?" And I thought, bloody hell, I thought I was just scanning at the rate of the customer. I thought I was just doing a good job. No, no, no. She was asking me to scan as fast as I could and to minimize my interaction with the customers, but to give a fake smile. Always, at all times, you must smile for the sake of it. Even if you don't feel like smiling, you must. And so I left. I never came back. I got fed up with it. And I've done this a lot in my life. The moment someone tries to take the wonder out of something for me, tells me how it is, what the deal is, what I'm meant to be doing, that's when I walk the other way. And I say, toodaloo, because that's not for me. It's not the life I want to be living. And sometimes it's taken a lot of courage because everyone around you is saying, what the fuck are you doing, man? You are off the rails. You are fucking, you're going to come unstuck one day. Well, I haven't come unstuck yet. So that day awaits me where I truly come unstuck. And it's a mystery that will keep me going up until that point when I really do come unstuck. But I tell you what, if I die because I came really unstuck, it's a pretty cool way to die, you know. If I die in the mystery, if I die in the process of it all, if I die right in the heart of all of it, and I'm living like I'm living now, I don't mind. I'm not bothered really. I don't see death as such a bad thing. Death is a mystery. I don't know what happens when you die. No one does. You know, I barely know what happens while I'm alive, let alone what happens when you die. So I have death to look forward to. Death is yet another part of the story that awaits. And if it really is as people say it is, death is where life comes to an end and you cease to exist. It's you know, it's, they say it's, well, what did it feel like before you were born? I don't fucking know. I don't have any memory of before I was born. And you know, if let's say if I was the creator of this universe, it would be a bit of a design flaw if humans knew what it was like before they were born, because we wouldn't be able to appreciate this life for what it is. It's just like if you knew the magic trick, if you know how the trick works, it's very difficult to appreciate it. You know, it's like when you start getting into an industry, this can be the opposite, you know, it depends on the industry, but with a lot of the industries nowadays, it really is nothing more than deception. And once you're involved in that deception, then you can never appreciate it or see it in the same way. It's like, I know someone who worked at McDonald's, and I've just been trapped. I'm being held hostage by a thorn right now, and I don't have a spare hand to unfuck myself. There we go. So a guy who worked at McDonald's, and you know, I love McDonald's, don't get me wrong. And then he was saying all the things that go on behind the scenes, and I was thinking, oh fuck, I'm never going to eat at McDonald's ever again. And that's it's ruined it for me. This bloody well ruined it. It was probably not such a bad thing, because you know, they say McDonald's is not good for you. It's another thing that bloody well ruined it. I have people ruining my bloody experience left, right, and centre. But it's funny. It is funny. I'm not being serious. I'm saying all this with the sense of humour, because it's pretty funny. It's always good to breathe. It's always good to go to the stratosphere, come back to the ground. If you don't do that, you're missing something. Good magic trick takes the ordinary, turns it into something extraordinary, and then brings it back. And that's a complete magic trick. And that's what life is. Life is a complete magic trick. And all I have anymore is a sense of wonder. And I'm finding that's all I really need. That's all I need to want to wake up in the morning and do what I do and get on with my day. And I love the ordinary. I love the combination of the ordinary and the extraordinary neither would be of any interest to me on their own. But I think you get the idea. So, I'm going to leave it here for today. Hope this video is entertaining. It entertained me. So that's good enough. Good enough for me. If I don't know what I'm going to say next and I don't know what I'm going to do next, that's good enough for me. But I will leave you guys to it with whatever creative projects that you are doing at the moment. Whatever your day holds, I wish you the best. Really, I do. I hope that you can see the sense of wonder in reality. I hope that you can take something from this, not add vice. I don't want to add any vices. I want to take away vices. That's what I do. I remove vices. I give you the opposite of advice. I often look at trees and I'm like bits of like logs on the ground. I'm like, fuck, I wish I could turn that into a didgeridoo and just start playing it. Like that would be wonderful. Right. I'm coming up from my favorite field. It really is wonderful. I had my first mushroom trip in this field. I'll quickly show you the field. Before we leave it, I'll quickly show you the field. This is the field where I had my first mushroom trip, and I was walking along this path here when I was kind of at the peak, and I felt this sense of wonder. It's the first time in my life where I thought, fuck, I've got it all wrong. I'm meant to feel like I don't know what the hell is going on. I'm not meant to know how anything works. I don't need to figure it all out. It's enough to just have that sense of wonder, indescribable sense of wonder. I wonder what's going to happen next. But instead of keeping you here, depriving you of the next wonderful thing that's going to happen in your life, I will say goodbye for now, and I do hope your day goes well. Even if it doesn't go well, keep in mind that it's a good contrast to have. My day yesterday it really felt like walking through treacle. But just know that it won't always be like that. But if you can get through it, you can get through the days that do feel like that, and even have a sense of humor about it, think, oh, this is fucking hilarious, you know, nothing's going right for me today, then I guarantee you will experience the flip side. You will experience things going smoothly, and then you'll experience everything going wrong again. But I could go round in circles with this, as I could do with everything else, but I will actually leave it there for today and bid you farewell. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And please, please, if any of you are doing anything creative at the moment, I would love to see it. I would love to see what you guys do. I really would. I am available on Instagram. I do check my Instagram direct messages. You can leave a comment. Call me. I think I have my number on my Instagram. Anyway, right, I am going to leave it there for today. Thank you so much for watching. It has been a pleasure. It really has been. It has been a wonderful experience hanging out with you today. So I will actually leave it there. And goodbye until next time.